Jai Hind and welcome to you all. Myself Shivani from Applied Science and Humanities Department in Ajay Kumar Garg Engineering College. So, we will deliver a lecture on a molecular orbital theory, especially for diatomic molecules. This is the topic which is in unit 1 and the references are from Engineering Chemistry by Jain and Jain, Shashi Chawla, by S.S. Dara and by Villay India. So, these are the total topics which are in module 1 and in this I will discuss the concepts of molecular orbital theory and how we draw the molecular orbital diagram for diatomic. It may be homo or heteronuclear. So, before this molecular orbital theory, first we should know the concept of bonding. So, bond we can say a interaction of two atoms, it may be molecule or etc. So, to define this bonding, first we should know about the characteristic of the atom. If atom has tendency to give the electron, means it has extra electron in a shell, so it will be termed as a electropositive element. And if it has tendency to accept the electron, that is to complete the octet, there is a deficiency of 1 or 2 electron, then it will be termed as a electronegative. So, if there is a bonding between electropositive and electronegative, then ionic bond get formed. And if there is a bonding between electronegative and electronegative, that is by sharing. If I required, I will take the electron, and if you required, you will take the electron, that is a sharing between two atoms, then covalent bond get formed. And if there is an interaction between electropositive and electropositive, then we can say metallic bond get formed. So, when the ionic bond is formed, that is in between the electropositive and electronegative, one is electron deficient and one has extra electron, then there will be an electrostatic force of attraction between the atoms. So, the ionic bond get formed. But when the bonding between electronegative and electronegative, then which type of force exists, what is the structure or orientation and how they basically orient. So, this point it could not define these things. So, to define the bonding in covalent or bonding in electronegative and electronegative, there were the various theories. First, it was the Cornelius theory, then Vesper theory, and then VBT, and after this the final theory it was molecular orbital theory. So, to get this molecular orbital theory point, we should know what are the drawbacks of VBT, or we can say what are the point as well as limitations. In Vesper theory, the totally it was based on lone pair, bond pair. So, leave it because it is not in your syllabus. So, just we start the basic concepts of VBT and why this molecular orbital theory it get discovered. So, first is valence bond theory, that is VBT. In VBT the major point was that only unpaired electron of atoms get combined and form the multiple bond. Like in case of H2, H1, that is 1s1, there is a 1 electron and there is a 1 electron on another hydrogen. So, the unpaired atomic orbitals of unpaired electron they get combined and form this. So, since there is a 1 electron, so single bond get formed. While in case of oxygen 2p4, now 2p4 means 1, 2, 3, 4 and it is the p orbital of another oxygen. So, 1, 2, 3, 4, this px is paired, so it will not combine. So, only two, that is Py and Pz, it get combined and form the molecule. So, since there are 2 electrons involved, so we can say the double bond get formed. So, as per VBT theory, we can say like this. It was basically derived by Hitler and London, and as according to this, a molecule is made up of atoms. That is, when the atoms get combined, so molecule is formed. The electrons in atoms occupy atomic orbitals. It means electrons are present in atomic orbitals. So, in VBT we can say the atomic orbital, those electrons are unpaired, they form the molecule. Orbitals may or may not be hybridized. Hybridized is basically combination and then redistribution. If hybridized atomic orbitals combine to produce hybrid orbital which can overlap more effectively with orbitals of other atom, so the strong bond get formed. The overlapping orbital, it must have unpaired electron with opposite spin. This is the main point, as I have already told you that the orbitals which contain unpaired electron, it get combined. The bonds are formed because of electrostatic attraction between the anti-spin electron and nuclei. The extent of overlapping, it depends on nature of bond, it may be single, double or triple, and the type of overlapping. The atomic orbitals remain even after atoms are chemically bonded in a molecule. That is, after combining the atomic orbitals, they does not lose their identity as per VBT concept. In VBT, the concept of resonance is also applicable, but there is few limitation, and the most important limitation drawback is it could not explain the paramagnetic behavior of oxygen. As per VBT, there will be in formation of oxygen, since 2 unpaired electron of first oxygen get combined with 2 unpaired electron of second oxygen, then the double bond get formed. That is, there is no unpaired electron, and since there is no unpaired electron, so it is diamagnetic in nature. But actually it was observed that oxygen has paramagnetic nature. When it is passed through the magnet, then we see that oxygen passes through this magnet, that is, it is paramagnetic. Next limitation, it could not explain the stability of odd electrons molecule, like in case of NO. Nitrogen has 3 unpaired electron, while oxygen has 2 unpaired electron. So, what type of bonding will occur? Because 2 unpaired nitrogen or 2 unpaired electron of nitrogen, it may combine with 2 unpaired of oxygen. But what about a single electron which is left in nitrogen? So, it could not explain this condition. It could not explain the color and magnetic behavior of compound. So, this was the limitation of VBT. Then after this, the molecular orbital theory was developed. It was developed by Hund and Mulliken, and as per this theory, the atomic orbitals of atoms get combined and form a molecular orbital of different energies. For example, in case of S, one atomic orbital of this atom, let us suppose this is the atom A and this is the atom B, or in case of S there is only one atomic orbital. So, 1s of this A will combine with 1s of this B, that is 2 atomic orbitals get combined and form molecular orbital. The number of molecular orbital are always equal to number of atomic orbitals, that is 2 molecular orbitals get formed, in which half is or half has lower energy and other have higher energy. that is in these two molecular orbital, one which has lower energy, it will termed as a bonding molecular orbital, and second will termed as a anti-bonding molecular orbital. So, the simple statement is the atomic orbitals of atom get combined and form a new molecular orbital having different energy, in which half is known as bonding molecular orbital and second half is known as anti-bonding molecular orbital. In case of bonding molecular orbital, since it is a lower energy, that is it leads towards the stabilization. So, bonding has lower energy means stable. Anti-bonding, it has higher energy than atomic orbital. So, it is comparatively high energy, that is it leads towards instability, that is unstable. Clear? So, in case of P has 3 atomic orbital, Px, Py and Pz. So, we can say 3 of A get combined with 3 of B and form 6 molecular orbital, in which 3 are termed as bonding molecular orbital and another 3 are termed as anti-bonding molecular orbital. It is clear? So, the next question or next point which arise in our mind, that what is the basic difference in atomic orbital and molecular orbital? Atomic orbital, it means it belongs to atom, while the molecular orbital belongs to molecule. Atomic orbital have fixed shape, means they are defined as SPDF. S spherical shape, P dumbbell shape along x axis, y axis and z axis, D double dumbbell shape and 5D atomic orbitals are there, dx square minus y square, dz square, and other 3 are dxy, dyz and dzx. F is complicated, so leave it. So, second point is atomic orbitals have fixed shape, while the molecular orbitals, it depends on atomic orbital, that is which type of atomic orbitals get combined. Third, atomic orbitals is monocentric because it belongs to single atom, while the molecular orbital is polycentric. So, this is the basic difference in atomic orbital and molecular orbital. Now, the another point is, since the atomic orbitals get combined and form a molecular orbital of different energy, so we can say in molecular orbital theory, the atomic orbital completely lose their identity and form molecular orbital, while in VBT there was a point that atomic orbital retain their identity. So, let us take point one by one. First, the valence, these are the postulates of molecular orbital theory. First, the valence electrons are associated with all the nuclei of a molecule, and the atomic orbitals of different atoms, they must combine and to form molecular orbital. So, first point is this. Second, electron, as per de Broglie principle, electron shows dual nature, that it behaves as a particle as well as wave. And since this theory was totally based on quantum approach, so the second point is related to this, that electrons are considered as particle or wave. So, atomic orbitals combine to form a new molecular orbitals which are spread out over the entire molecule, and electrons are in orbitals that belong to molecule as a complete or whole. Now, third point, the wave function showing the molecular orbital, they get combined as per LCAO. LCAO is the rule or LCAO is the method for combination of atomic orbital, and name is linear combination of atomic orbitals. Next point, there is no role of resonance, so it is not applicable. Next is the combining orbitals, they must have near or we can say approximately same energy, or there is a basically we can say that for combination it is not necessary that all atomic orbitals get combined and form new orbital. So, there is some limitation, and the first limitation is the the orbitals, they must have approximately or nearer energy, that is same energy. Second is, or we can say the energy difference should not be too much. Second is, it should be symmetrical. It is not that atomic orbitals or orbitals which are along internuclear axis, they get combined with which is perpendicular to internuclear axis, that is suppose this and this, and second option is like P. So, this is P x and this is x, both are along internuclear axis. So, the bonding is possible or overlapping is possible or combination is possible, but in this case it is perpendicular to internuclear axis. So, this combination is not possible. So, second is symmetrical it should be, and third is overlapping should be maximum. So, this is the rule or we can say limitation for combination: approximately same energy, symmetry and maximum overlapping. So, when the atomic orbitals combined, so one which has lower energy is called bonding, and second which has higher energy is called antibonding. So, electrons which are present in bonding molecular orbital, they leads towards stabilization, and while the electrons which are present in antibonding molecular orbital, it leads towards unstabilization. Suppose after this the diagram, the question is find the stability of A2 or B2. Then we check the electrons present in antibonding molecular orbital. Suppose in B2 we see that there are 2 electrons in antibonding molecular orbital, while in A2 there is no electrons in antibonding molecular orbital, and we know that antibonding electrons, it leads towards unstabilization. So, the stability of B2, it will be less than stability of A2. Okay. And the second and the next important point, the number of atomic orbital must be equal to number of molecular orbital. And the next law, next point is, there are 3 rules for the filling of electron. First is Aufbau principle, second is Pauli exclusive principle, and third is Hund's multiplicity rule. First, Aufbau principle. Aufbau principle means electrons always enter in atomic orbital in increasing order of energy. It means the electron first enter in 1s, then 2s, then 2p, etc. Suppose there is a confusion in 2s and 2p. The electron first enter in which orbital? So, in this case we can say first check n value. If n value is same, here the principal quantum number is 2, and in this case the principal quantum number is again 2. So, if principal quantum number is same, then check n plus L. In case of 2s, the n plus L is 2 plus 0, while in case of 2p, the n plus L is 2 plus 1, 3. It means the electron will enter in those orbital which has lower value of n plus L. Suppose in case of 3D, suppose in case of 3D and 3p or 4s like. So, we have to find then electron first enter in which orbital, because as per Aufbau principle, when electron start to fill, then there must be an increasing order of energy. So, first check value of principal quantum number, that is n, value of shell. So, there is 3 and here is 4. So, definitely first electron will enter in either 3p or 3d and then 4s. Is clear? Now, in case of 3p and 3d, because both have 3 value. So, in this case let us check the value of n plus L. L is the, as in if s orbital, then L is 0, 1, 2, SPD like this. So, in case of 3p, n plus L is 3 plus 1, that is 4. In 3D, 3 plus 2, which is 5. So, first electron will enter in 3p, then 3D, and then 4s. This will be the order of electron orbitals where the electrons fill. Now, second, when the electrons fill in molecular orbital, they follow the Pauli exclusive principle. And what is the Pauli exclusive principle? If the electron has same value of 3 quantum numbers, then definitely the orientation will be different. That is, in a same orbital, if electron has clockwise spin, then definitely the second electron, it will be of anti-clockwise spin, that is, they have opposite spin. Third is Hund's rule. What is Hund's rule? Hund's rule is, if the atomic orbitals have same energy or the orbitals have same energy, and we have to fill suppose 3 electron. So, first they fill singly, that is this, and then pairing get start. It means in case of 3 electron, there are 2 options, 1, 2, 3, and second is 1, 2, 3. So, as per Hund's multiplicity rule, first singly and then pairing, that is this type of orientation is possible, not this. So, I think these 3 are clear: Aufbau principle, Pauli exclusive principle, and Hund's multiplicity rule. Now, since this molecular orbital theory, it is a totally quantum approach. So, the molecule viewed as a collection of nuclei surrounded by delocalized molecular orbitals. And suppose if two atoms get combined, and let the wave function of first atom is psi A and the wave function of second atom is psi B. So, there will be a 2 possibility, psi A plus psi B and psi A minus psi B. That is, if the wave, let 2 wave functions psi A and psi B. So, if the wave function they reinforce each other, so in such situation the bonding molecular orbital get formed. That is, the region of high electron density, it exists between the nuclei, and if the wave function they cancel each other, in such situation the anti-bonding molecular orbital is formed, that is of higher energy, that it means a node of 0 electron density, that is nodal plane, it get formed between the nuclei. We can understand this point from this diagram. So, wave function of first atom is let psi A and the wave function of second atom is suppose psi B. So, there is 2 possibility of combination, either they reinforce to each other or cancel each other. So, if, and this is the basically wave distribution of first and this is suppose wave distribution of second. So, if they reinforce each other like this, so in such condition bonding molecular orbital is formed, or we can say the electron density around the nuclei it get increase, and when the electron density around the nuclei get decrease, it means it decrease the repulsion between the electron or nuclei. So, it's such condition the stable molecular orbital is formed, which is called bonding, and when it cancel each other like this and this, we can say in such a manner, suppose this, that is it reinforced or like this, and in such situation the electron density around the nuclei it get 0 or reduced. It means the repulsion between electron or nuclei get increased. So, it leads towards instability. So, anti-bonding molecular orbital is formed. We can explain this point in such a manner. Suppose So this is the wave function of suppose bonding molecular orbital, and this is the wave function of suppose anti-bonding molecular orbital. If we square this, so psi square of molecular orbital bonding, because additive overlapping is there, so psi square is equal to psi a square plus psi b square plus 2 psi a psi b. So we can say that psi square is always greater than psi a square plus psi b square. So we can say, and psi is just a representation of wave function, it has no meaning, but psi square, it is the probability density, or we can say electron density. So we can say in case of bonding molecular orbital, the electron density is always greater than electron densities of their combining atomic orbitals. This is the electron density on y-axis we can say electron distribution, and on x-axis we can take any parameter. So this is the psi a square plus psi b square, and this is the psi square. So we can easily say that psi square is always greater than psi a square plus psi b square. While in case of antibonding, if we square, then we can say psi antibonding square is equal to psi a square plus psi b square minus 2 psi a psi b. That is, psi antibonding square is always less than psi a square plus psi b square. That is, the electron density of antibonding molecular orbital is always less than electron density of their combining atomic orbitals. We can draw this diagram like this. This is psi a square plus psi b square. So for antibonding we get like this. It means this value is always less than this value. So if they reinforce, then bonding, and if they cancel, then antibonding. Now next is, we know that, and as we already discussed this, so atomic orbitals, they are represented as psi a and psi b. So there is two possibility, first positive overlapping and second negative overlapping. And we have, if we have a problem to understand this, we can easily say, let this is the wave function of A and let this is the wave function of B. So if psi a plus psi b means the amplitude get increased, and if psi a minus psi b, we can say the amplitude, in this amplitude get increased or in this amplitude get decreased. So this is the wave function wave A and this is B. So two molecular orbitals when formed, so we can say sigma is equal to C1 psi a plus C2 psi b, and sigma star is equal to C1 psi a minus C2 psi b, where C1 and C2 are the coefficients and it indicates the contribution of atomic orbital to the molecular orbital. Now next is, there is a confusion in sigma and pi. So those orbitals which are along internuclear axis, they form sigma bond, and which are perpendicular to internuclear axis, they form pi bond. So let's take an example of hydrogen atom. So in case of hydrogen atom, there is only one electron, so HA, and suppose this is HB, and one electron is present in s orbital, and since s orbital has a spherical shape, so we can draw like this. So one electron in this again. But before the entering the electron, first we see how these atomic orbitals overlap, and they overlap as per LCAO method. So when 1s get combined, so either their wave function, they support each other or oppose each other. So when it support each other, that is bonding molecular orbital is formed. So we can say psi a plus psi b. if they oppose each other or cancel each other, in this case the nodal plane get formed, that is where the electron probability is 0. So, in this case we can say psi A minus psi B. So, first we can say additive overlapping or subtractive overlapping. When additive overlapping occur, it means bonding molecular orbital is formed. So, we can represent as psi, and since it is s orbital, so we can write psi s. If it is 1s, then psi 1s or psi 2s or so on. In this case, since it repel each other, that is anti-bonding is formed. Anti-bonding means psi star. So, psi star s. So, two overlapping, additive and subtractive. In additive overlapping, the electron density around the nuclei it get increased, and in subtractive overlapping, the electron density around the nuclei it get decreased. That is, they form like this, and in this case they form like this. So, psi sigma and sigma star. Now, after this we draw the diagram as well as electronic configuration also, right. So, bonding and anti-bonding, bonding towards stabilization, anti-bonding towards destabilization. And how the electrons get filled we will discuss in next lecture. Now, P. So, Pz. So, since the p orbital they have lobes along x axis, y axis and z axis. So, we took here which is along internuclear axis Pz, and remaining two this and this Py and Px. So, when Pz get combined, then sigma bond is formed, and when Py and Px get combined, then pi bond is formed. So, in Pz overlapping, so when the overlapping occur, so either additive overlapping or subtractive overlapping, that is either the electron density around the nuclei get increased or 0 or decreased. So, when additive overlapping occur, that is Pz plus Pz. So, in this case we can say like this. It means around the nuclei the electron density it become maximum. So, we can write minus plus plus minus, but Py minus Py, Pz minus Pz, that is subtractive overlapping. So, in this case they repel. Repel means electron density around the nuclei it becomes 0. So, minus plus minus plus, and do not be confused in plus minus, it is just representation of electron densities, it is not a charge, and plus means electron density around the nuclei increase, and minus means electron density around the nuclei it becomes 0. And since the sigma bond is formed, so we can write sigma 2 Pz when the positive overlapping, and negative overlapping, that is sigma star 2 Pz. And here since they repel each other, so this is the antibonding, and they combined each other, so it is antibonding. Now, Py so in case of Py or Pz, so in case of Py or Px which is perpendicular to internuclear axis like this and this, so we can write plus minus plus minus. So, when positive overlapping occur, that is electron density above or below it get increased. So, in this case we get this type of molecular orbital, and since pi bond is there, so we write either pi to Px or pi to Py. But when negative overlapping, that is they repel each other, then we get this type of distribution plus minus minus plus. So, in this case a nodal plane is observed, and since pi bond is there, so we write either pi star to Px or pi star to Py. Y. So, in case of P, when PZ get combined, and it is not necessary that we write PZ. If we assume that this axis is X, then we can say Px. So, Px or Pz, which is along the internuclear axis, it get combined and form sigma and sigma star. And another two, after overlapping, or we can say after combination, it form pi and pi star. So, when we draw the diagram of P, then we write first sigma 2p z and then pi 2p x and pi 2p y. Since both have same energy, px and py, then we write this. So, these three are bonding, and another three, pi star 2py and pi star 2px, and last sigma star 2pz. So, these three have higher energy, which are termed antibonding molecular orbital. Now, how to write the configuration and draw, we will discuss in, I will explain in next lecture. So, first point, if we concise this, so first point, in molecular orbital theory, the atomic orbitals get combined and form equal number of molecular orbital of different energy, in which half have lower energy, which are called bonding molecular orbital, and another half have higher energy, which are called antibonding molecular orbital. Bonding molecular orbital, it leads towards stabilization, while antibonding molecular orbital, it leads towards unstabilization. Ideally, the stabilized delta S, it must be equal to delta ds, but experimentally it has seen that psi s, delta S is slightly greater than delta ds. Thank you.